Whoa.
Welcome, fight fans,
to the Fighters Boys Kick-Ass Podcast.
Your Fight Talk Authority.
Not to mention the most entertaining and talked about podcast with your kick-ass host, Richard Ortiz.
You mad? Come at me, bro.
And his loyal kick-ass co-host, Senor Cole Escovedo.
Streaming live and worldwide.
Coming to you all the way live from a little place somewhere in Cali. The Fighters Boys
Kick-Ass Podcast.
Fresno, California, we're live here in Mad Productions Studios, the Fighter's Voice Kick-Ass Podcast. I'm Rich Ortiz, your host, and I have my co-host with the most, the UFC veteran in studio, Mr. Cole Escovedo. How we doing, Cole?
What up, man?
What's going on, man?
No, like I was gonna say, like, what was your? We were talking about off-topic subjects. I said, what's your take on deja vu?
I think it's like maybe it is what it is, deja vu. I mean, you want me to explain it, or do I believe in it?
Okay, well, yeah, first off, okay, well, let's start there. Do you even believe in deja vu?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do,
So
because it's something that hasn't really been explained, but whenever I show up somewhere or I do something, I act like, I kind of feel like I've been there before.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Done that before, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
maybe a dream, you're like, dude, did I dream about this?
Or did it really happen?
Yeah, so what do you think it is?
Did I dream that we're the hottest podcast in this area, or is it fact?
It's hard to dream something that's happening. You can't manifest things.
Yeah, and it's real hard to be humble, man, when you know that you've worked real hard. But, you know, we're going to stay humble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yes.
I know that quote. That was, yeah.
Yes, I just had to throw that at you. See, because you know your boxing, Cole. I mean,
little
more
bit.
than you let everybody think that you don't know, but you do, which is good. Is it safe to say you know as much boxing as I know UFC? We'll just leave it at that. I don't see, and there I go. No, see, and there I go. People want to call it like I just did UFC, which it should be called. I should have addressed it as MMA. But people call and get mixed up with UFC with MMA because they go hand in hand.
They really do. And that's why I saw Dana was making a statement the other day. The UFC is not the sport. It's just a platform. People are like blaming the UFC for certain things and stats. Like, dude, they're the only ones doing shows. Well, yeah, they're the only ones doing shows because they're the only ones that can afford to. Let's make that perfectly clear. It's like when the Yankees had the best baseball team for years, they bought the team. Like everyone knew it. They could afford the best players. Period.
Of course they can.
So
they still had to play though.
Exactly. So they still had to make it work. But like same thing, UFC had to make it work. They had to figure out how
and
to
they are
do
making it work. And you know who's making it work in the boxing world? Hats off to Top Rank Boxing, my man. Every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday in Mexico, Top Rank Boxing is just taking off, man. I mean, they're keeping their fighters busy. They're keeping their staff busy. Speaking of people on their staff, we're going to have a special show next Friday. I believe we're going to aim for, we try to get 5 o'clock, but I actually got to text her back to confirm. Christina Pacher will be talking to us in the studio at 4 o'clock Friday on a special show. You know why, Cole? Because she is so busy being super mom and along with the show and the fighters meetings, but yet she said, Richard, let's make it work. So I figured, let's make it work.
Why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we got some hot topics, man.
Yeah, you had UFC over the weekend.
Yeah, we did.
You had a couple guys. You had some scenarios come out of that. Like one of the scenarios that came out of that was, well, first off, it's 50%. We were talking about 50% of those cards on the main fights were decision wins, which just goes to show you that those were still good fights. Yeah. So it's, in my mind, it's we're as far as fighting goes, like I think we're hitting a point now to where we're starting to see that stepping stone to where fighting will change a little bit. You're going to see different style come up because you're going to see something, because we're seeing all these decision wins against really good striders, really good fights. So it's not that it's like it's just boring fights and it's decisions. It's just harder to finish fighters now.
Let me ask you this. Have you noticed any new fighters on the UFC roster? Or have they been just everybody that's been on their roster, they're keeping them busy? Or do you see new fighters that are getting opportunities that normally would have not, but because of the situation we're in with this coronavirus?
A little. I've seen like 6-man main cards versus usually like 5.
Right. I'm talking about new faces.
Well, no,
athletes.
but we're seeing new faces too, because you're seeing like you'll see an extra face that would have been a prelim that's on the main card now.
Yeah.
So now you're seeing somebody that would have been a Fox early live stream prelim, because they have live stream prelims, then main.
Yeah.
So a guy that would have been on that one moves up to the prelims. You know, you see some new names in there, but you see a couple new names now and then. It's just that you might see repetitive names because those are the only guys that'll fight right now. Those are the guys that can get medicals done. They're the only ones that can get out of their state, things like that. Yeah. So who can train, you can have 5 guys that are rostered in the state that you're wanting to throw your card, but none of them, their gyms are closed. They haven't been training.
What I'm saying is usually in the want ads, they'll say, hey, wanted, I need a cook, or I need a radio host, or I need somebody who can clean my house, etc. Top Rank, they let everybody know, attention all fighters, we're looking for fighters. We're looking to give you an opportunity.
Yeah.
And someone from Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy said, just give us a call, we'll fill your bill, because we got all the tigers and lions and tigers and bears, oh my, because there's nothing but dogs in there. Yeah.
Yeah, guys are like, hey, in like 6 months, we're going to get you going. It's like, why wait 6 months? We can get you going now. Let's just go. You know what I mean?
And the reason that is because, one, they're giving these fighters an opportunity, and we need some fighters because the ones that are under contract, I'm not saying exactly with Top Rank, but I will say, I'm going to name it out there, Golden Boy Ryan Garcia, who basically talked himself out of a main event. I don't know the whole demographics as far as the pay scale, but he was offered a nice chunk of change right now, and those are slim and none right now, especially in the conditions that we're in. Long story short, he went on Twitter, said, I'm not going to fight in July. He went back and forth with his promoter and his boss, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar said, fine, that's fine. You don't have to fight. So who got the opportunity? Virgil Ortiz out of Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy. He's going to be in the ring, I believe it's the 24th. Yeah, the 24th, July 24th, he'll be the main event. And basically, with the exception of Canelo, he's going to be the face of Golden Boy. And Ryan Garcia posted today, and he Twitter, and he said, man, I just want to fight. Well, brother, you were on the bill. Now reality set in, and you started to believe the hype. You started to believe everybody leaving comments or saying, hey, you deserve more. You deserve this guy. Exactly. Long story short, man, no one is exempt from talking their way out of a main event, and now he's living with it.
Yeah, I mean,
superstar on the shelf, and he put himself there himself.
I don't know if he necessarily, just given that scenario, there's a couple variables that I would need to know before I would come to the concurring conclusion that he talked himself out of it. Because A, what did they offer him? B, how often did he fight last year? C, what did he make fighting last year? And D, what's the difference between what they offered versus what he would usually get?
I was told he turned down $200K.
See, but like to turn down $200K when your last fight was like,
okay,
15 million.
Okay, how many fighters? And we'll say Canelo, we'll say Bud Crawford. These big names in boxing, they're on the shelf right now. So you got to take this opportunity.
Okay, well, but let's look at his scenario. And why it would be easy for him to go, I can wait. So the guy's got enough money that he can say, I'll wait. Okay. Go ahead, let somebody else take my spot. I'm not gonna lower my worth.
He has money, but I don't think he has that Jose Ramirez money or that Bud Crawford money, but he has some money.
But think about it. So let's say they offer you $200K. How much did he make on his last fight? Is that a quarter of what he made? Is that like a slap in the face? Is it a just fight because we told you to money? Like, there's some things to consider there. What did he make on his last fight with them? I would have to know that first. Yeah. But going off just the $200K alone, you've got, let's call it California, 30% taxes. So there goes 60 grand. So now you're down to 140.
We had a fighter last night. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Fought on Top Rank Boxing. Last name is Salcedo. And actually, he had his gear done by I Got My Own Back. Big shout out to there, and we'll get to that later on in the show. He got $35,000. And a lot of people were thinking, man, that was chump change. But that fight was already arranged, and he was the main event. That fight was already arranged, and he was supposed to get that as an undercard bout. So that was already set in place. Now, do you try to negotiate that, or what do you do? No, you stay in the limelight and stay relevant because he looked good. And now he's in the talks of 140 pounds of getting a shot of the winner, if it does take place, between Ramirez and Josh Taylor.
Yeah, and I could understand that. They come and say, hey, we're going to bump you up. Like, take Joe Soto, for example. Yeah. They come up and say, hey, you're going to do a one off your contract. You're going to fight Dillashaw, blah, 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 tonight, whatever, the next day or whatever, right? You don't go, oh, well, how much more money I get? You go, fuck yeah, thank you. Yeah. And that's how he approached it, was fuck yeah, thank you. It's an opportunity. You go, just take the money. You were going to fight for that amount of money anyway. Exactly. You're just now being given a bigger opportunity. The money will present itself if you take advantage of the opportunity.
Top Rank did. I'm sorry. UFC did take care of it.
Yeah, they did. But given that same, it's a similar one where it's like, just take it. You just
exactly.
Or you're going to give me more money? No, stupid. We're going to make the main event. Like that should be your immediate answer. I mean, the only person who should question is your manager. That's the one person.
I mean,
question.
whoever his PR person was should be gone. Axed. See you later, alligator.
Well,
because
we're
now,
talking about the guy that turned down the 200K,
now
right?
Ryan Garcia is. I want to fight. He's calling out MMA guys out of his. I mean, he's out of the box now. So,
but like I said, with the 200K, you've got down to what 160 just off of taxes alone.
Okay.
Or 170 just off the taxes alone. So now you're looking at another
Coach,
20K.
you take the fight for 200K?
It depends on the scenario. There's not enough variables. Me personally?
Yes.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Okay, then.
Like, duh. That's stupid.
all right.
But I have a scenario that's easier to say
Yeah.
yes to. If I had just fought twice last year for the same promotion and both times I fought, those were 7-figure fight contracts, I'm going to expect something at least $500,000 and up.
Well, I don't know what he got last time, but Golden Boy only has one Canelo, and Ryan Garcia is not it.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, you right now, because Canelo's still active. You can't
Exactly.
have two Canelos or whatever he's saying. And that's the problem is whenever you come into a sports of a fight league and go, I'm going to be the next so-and-so, stop.
He is not a world champion yet. And I say yet because he has the tools and he has what it takes to be a world champion. But I think through it all, a learning situation now, a life lesson. Take the fight, stay in the limelight, and then when you're in the middle of the ring, after you get your W, then say, I want this fight, but I want some more. We're going to negotiate something differently. You got to know when to do it, man.
But that's it's hard. Without knowing the rest of the variables, he might have made the right decision. We might learn the variables and go, oh, fuck yeah, dude. For the risk of that, for what you make usually, no.
Oscar basically said, hey, man, you snooze, you lose. Now we got a new headliner, and we're going to have a new household name, and that's Virgil Ortiz.
Of course he's going to say that, but what Oscar's not saying, and no one's asking the question when they're in those press conferences is, well, you seem pretty nonchalant about a guy that was your first choice.
Yeah.
So for him to just nonchalantly go, oh, well,
there's more than that. There's more than that.
They talked about it, they negotiated it, and they couldn't come to an agreement because their side knew what they were worth, and that 200K, if we knew the numbers, was probably just a slap in the face. It's like, dude, I don't need to fight. I'm so-and-so. Like, I don't need to take some random fight. You need me to take the fight because you need the stream sales. You need the online buys. That's what you need because there's not going to have any tickets in the audience.
What I'm saying is big fights are few and none right now because right now we don't have any. I don't care what we got planned. I don't care what is on the schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, it has not taken place. So you take what's in front of you. That's my thing because we don't know what's going to happen with this whole coronavirus as it is.
If I was in some prelim guy's card position on a regular basis, I'd fucking jump at it, of course, and I'd agree with you. But given this guy's status already and what we don't know what he's already paid, like I said, it could just be a spit in the face. Because at the end of the day, if he's their first choice, they're doing him a favor by offering him a platform, but at the same time, they still need the fighters for the fans to want to watch. You can't just throw any fucking random fighter as the main fight card. But who the fuck is that? I'm not going to watch that stupid card. But you have guys that fans will watch.
They're waiting in line, man.
So they're waiting in line, but that doesn't mean fans are all going to want to watch those particular guys.
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting in line. So they're going to, again, they asked him first, which tells them that his value of a draw is high.
I'm glad I'm getting this debate from you because you're answering as a fighter, as a negotiator, as if I was on the bill, okay, if I turn down this amount of money, it's because A, B, and C. It's because what I made last time, what I'm worth, and what I'm getting, and what you're offering me.
Now, I'm willing to take a pay cut because there's no fans in the seats there.
Exactly.
But at the same time, for all we know, if he made $1 million in the last one and this one's $200K, that's a fifth.
He signed a big contract, which means you have a couple of fights to get that spread. You can just get that chunk of change there. I just don't understand the whole situation with him. I mean, you talked your way into a big contract, and then you just talked your way out of a big fight. So I'm going to move on from that. So, you know what, talking about UFC last week, we talked about that leading up to the show. I want to go ahead and skip ahead, man. I want to talk about the main event. And that was your boy, Dustin Poirier.
Poirier?
Yeah, and Dan Hooker, man. I mean,
they both look fucked up after that fight.
Yeah, they left years in that cage.
They do? As far as shelf life, yeah.
Yeah, and that's my question. This question's coming in from Joe Valero from Madera, California. This is to you, Escovedo, UFC veteran. When there's a war takes place, and you take as much as you give, at the end of the day, you're just standing there, and you look like dog meat at the end of the day, and no offense to it, because these guys are combatants, they're warriors, they know what they signed up for. How much fight life did it take out of them emotionally, physically, and even spiritually?
As far as like their shelf life agenda, like as a fighter, like how many times can you do that kind of thing? Like, okay, we used to have guys like Vanderlei Silva, Donald Cerrone, your Chuck Liddells, guys that just have wars every time they fought. You'd look at those guys and be like, fuck, you can only do that so many times. Like, I don't care. Like, when guys say, oh, the guy used to have a chin, and then he just gets knocked out one day, chin's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. It was there,
or it's
but
exposed.
it's just, it's exposed now. You got to be even more careful. But there's just some guys that they just lose it. So you can only take so much of that damage before your head gets rattled around enough, your jaw gets cracked enough, just your noodle gets rocked around enough. It's just what it is. You mean, like we've talked about numerous times, how many times we've seen guys fight, getting dropped, get back up and keep fighting. Bro, they are fighting with a concussion.
Yes.
They just had their computer just got shut off.
They're concussed.
Exactly. So the amount of damage that they'll push themselves through, where some football player, bam, heads up, knuckles with the helmets and gets dropped. They come on the field, they check him out. Hey, what day is it? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's off the game. He's got a concussion. They immediately pull him off the field, get him a CAT scan, get him an MRI, make sure he's okay, make sure there's no swelling, no bleed. Immediately. What do MMA guys do? Put your mouthpiece in. You ready? Go. Dude, you can have a brain swelling right there, and it's just the nature of the beast because you've got 3.5 minutes left in the fucking round.
What are the factors when that war is taking place? Is it pride, or is it the heart that I want to win and pull through?
As far as continuing to go?
Yes.
Some of it is just autopilot from training, how you've been dropped in training before and you just get back up and go. But that comes from a little bit of work ethic. Like, you get out what you put in. If you don't put heart into your training, if you don't have heart when you're training, come push comes to shove that night, you're going to break. The guys that don't break are the guys that were broken in the gym and kept pushing.
Cool. I don't know if you recall that fight. There was one point where I believe it was Hooker that landed a 10-punch combination, and they all landed. And the fact is, you went from blocking your punches to knowing that, okay, I'm going to take this punch to give a punch. Whether it was part of your game plan or not, that's just the way it went down.
When you're finding yourself against an opponent that's landing, because a lot of guys will come ones, twos, that's not enough. You got to be 3 4s. You even got to be 5 6s if you're counting head kicks, body kicks, leg kicks, mixing them. They're changing your levels and stuff. You throw a 2-3 punch combo, kicks, followed up with punches, followed up with kicks, back to punches, and followed up with more pressure. You can realistically run through like a 9-10 step combo as long as you're not holding your breath and it becomes a free flow. It's muscle memory. You're doing it on a regular basis. Your muscles know the movement. So, bro, you can throw like, it sounds like a video game, but you can legit throw like 9-10 hit combos.
What does it come down to right there? Does it come down to training stamina or just some steam coming off his punches as well as you losing your oxygen?
Timing is the key factor in that one. Did the opening present itself to get it in? Because once you get one in, the rest of the opening will just kind of present themselves as you're landing, and next thing you know, you'll just see it. You're not going to have like a set amount of combo punches you're going to throw. It's just you land to the right, and he was just in range for a lead left, and you clip him. And it just sets up the next one and the next one and the next one.
Is it true what they say, the one you don't see is the one that gets you?
Yes.
Or I see this big right hand, so I'm bracing it. I'm bracing for it. I'm prepared for it.
If you see it coming, you have a chance to brace for it. It's the shock factor of the one you don't see, because that's the one you weren't ready for. And that's why it says you don't see it, you're not ready for it. Well, you can take a punch, but there's just that one time where you're coming right as it's coming right from his hook, and you just run right into it and you don't see it.
So it's not necessarily the power of the punch, it's the technique of the punch, of where it landed clean?
Where it lands, how hard he hits you, did you catch any of it? Did you even have a glimpse? Did you see a blaze of something out of your corner where you're like, something's coming, and you tighten up maybe? You just take it mid-breath or something, in, out or something, the wrong time, and you just get clipped and you get hit on the button. Like, everyone said, oh, we got hit on the button. Man, I would just aim for the button. Well, you can't aim for the fucking button. Dude, the button can be on your elbow. Like, the button is just where you happen to get hit that fight that just turned your computer off.
Yeah,
it just happened to be that sweet spot. Sometimes it's here. One fight, it could be the back of the head where some dude just dropped an elbow and just dumped you, and you get clipped in the forehead all day. It's just, it happens, man. I've seen dudes get jabbed and just dropped. It just caught them wrong. It hit the nerve the right way.
Yeah, so, nice piston jab right down the chin, man.
But as far as the question goes for the question out of Madera, it's you can only do so many of that. Yeah, as far as Joe's question goes, you can only do that so much. It does affect your shelf life. That's why the concept of the training smarter, not having hard sparring all the time, that's just pointless. You're just shaving off shelf life.
By viewing that main event, I mean, for the winner, when do you see him back in the cage? For both the guys, what's their time frame, you think?
Well, it depends on what. I mean, they're obviously both going to get some time off just from the doctors alone. Anything broken, anything like that, lacerations, things like that, just that amount of damage, like having a war and not getting knocked out or anything, the doctors will still say, no, yeah, you're taking time off. So you're mandated time off a couple weeks, and then given the scheme of what's going on, what happens with, like, say, Holloway's fight, what happens with Gaethje, Volkanova, who else? I mean, with just with what's going on, what's going to happen with Khabib next? Who's he fighting next? Who's Ferguson going to fight next? Because these guys are all active right now,
right.
And we know, provided they don't change their living schedules, we know they're clean. So they're active, they're clean, they can keep the ranks moving. It really just depends on who does what next to see what's going to happen, provided they're both healthy. I would say it's July, September, October area. Provided they want to fight and they got to turn around. Because you got to remember, it's all about storyline. Mm-hmm. Where can we fit these guys in next? Poirier just won. We got to find
what
a
hurts
spot.
the most after the fight, besides the sting of a loss, physically? What usually routinely for you? Was it your hands? Was it maybe a headshot or something?
It's like the whole body.
Aches in your body?
Like no matter how, whole body aches. No matter how hard you train or whatever, nothing will truly simulate a fight, because you're tensing more, you're using more muscles, you're hitting harder, you're being hit harder, you're being hit with bare elbows, you're being hit with bare knuckles, just all kinds of different variables that change up. Your just whole body's just sore. And plus, if you won, you were probably drinking that night, so you're going to be hungover and sore. I can't tell you how many times I've woke up hungover as shit from fights and just sore, but from the drinking. Didn't even take a punch, just sore from the drinking, just, I feel like shit. So it's just that body aches. It's more from the chemical change that your body goes through, the adrenaline dump. You don't really get an adrenaline spike like you do in training. It's a different type of adrenaline. It's a rush. It's a workout. But the spike of combat against a stranger, another body that you've never encountered before, who's remember, the mentality of is just you're going to enter into combat against a sole person whose sole purpose is to hurt you before you hurt them and hurt you as much as they can. You don't know the person. The psychology of it alone is weird. I mean, just thinking in the psychology alone, like they look at fighters and just go, how can you do that? I look at dudes doing backflips on dirt bikes and motocross going, how can you do that?
Or guys off the diving board.
Well, diving board, not so much. Like that, I'd fuck it up. But
100 feet up?
But you're landing in water. You're landing in water.
Hopefully.
You fuck that up, you get a belly flop.
First of all, climbing up that ladder, man.
Yeah, you fuck that up, you get a belly flop, you look silly. You fuck up motocross, you are crippled or dead.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Like, I look at those guys, they're like, oh, dude, I couldn't do that. You fall on your neck wrong, you get dumped. I'm like, yeah, but the chances of that happening are so slim because you know how to fall. Yeah. You've taken it before. No one's purposely trying to do it. Dude, you fuck up on a bike, bro. I've seen, for every bike ride I see, out of 5, I see 2 crashes. So it's like almost 50% of the bikes crash. Like, bro, 50% of the time you don't get something broken in fighting. It doesn't work that way. So,
I know in boxing it takes a lot out of you, as opposed to sometimes your chin is too good for its own good, and you take more punishment than you should have, as opposed to someone getting the lights out in the first round. The bottom line is they didn't take punishment. Man.
I've been guilty of that. When I fought Mizugaki, I just, for some reason, even Joe Rogan was like, "Why is he not?" I would not let go to the clinch. I just had tithe on him, and I just sat there and just kept getting punched over, under. I said, the fuck am I doing wrong? I was like trying to figure it out while I was getting cracked just over and over. And they're like, why isn't he letting go? But he just couldn't get out. It was just like having a pissed off dog with like another head that was biting you, but its main head couldn't get away. So you just had it. But no matter how much it bit you, you just wouldn't let go. You're like, well, I'm going to figure this out. How do I grab that other head? So everyone's guilty of that, especially if the guy's not hurting you enough. You'll look for openings to create, or you'll take damage to create an opening. Like you said, you'll take a punch to give something. It's not that you'll take a punch, but you might put yourself in a bad spot, lower your shoulder or something, hoping he bites so that you can
bait him
slip
in.
Yeah, sometimes you got a bait counter,
Bait him in.
We do it all the time in first-person shooters. We'll act like we're having a shootout with each other. It makes the guys think that you're having a shootout with another team, and they're going to come in and sweep up what's left, when the reality is you were just shooting at each other trying to get them to come in close. Same thing.
You baited them in. Speaking about a shootout, man, I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. Ever since Tyson Fury knocked out Deontay Wilder, excuses have been coming out left and right. Allegations, again, Team Wilder's team, not Deontay Wilder himself, but it made some allegations against Tyson Fury that there's been some something going on with the gloves. I mean, photographers have gotten some pictures of the knuckles parts being exposed and as part of the glove. I wish you can pull that up right now, but I didn't prep it myself well enough for that to have that on there. I'm not even sure if we can put that on there because of copyrights, but where the knuckles being used on the chin. And a lot of people were saying from Deontay Wilder's camp that he actually had a dent in his head from some of the punches. So that accusing
they're saying that the padding was removed
accusing Tyson Fury of doing some illegal gloving or hand wraps. I don't know. Tyson Fury recently went on Twitter and said, "Look, man, the next dent I'm putting on you is in your career, and I'm going to end you once and for all." So there's new pictures coming up of Deontay Wilder when he's landed on Fury of the knuckles being exposed. I'm thinking
counter propaganda kind of photos.
Yes, exactly. It could be, we don't know, but they're going back and forth. Listen, man, they're going to fight again. It's been scheduled. It's in their contract. They're supposed to fight again, and then
are we going to get Joshua?
Move on. Well, see, that's the whole thing. No, the rubber match. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, yeah. But see, Deontay Wilder doesn't like the fact that, okay, you signed 2 fights ahead after me, thinking, hey, big boy, you got to get past this first. Listen, man, let's just let the 2 combatants fight. Let them make excuses. It wasn't their day or it was their day. Don't start coming up with different stuff about the gloves, man, because then you get into the chief seconds. Then you get into the whole governing body, the sanctioning body, and those are the ones that sign off on your gloves before and after. If they see something right or wrong with them, they're going to let you know. And those gloves that are taken off, you don't just get to hold them and say, put them in my backpack. No, they're taken backstage, and they get to look at them. They get to go through them thoroughly. Nobody has come forward and said, okay, hey, there's something wrong with this glove, or there's something wrong with his hand wraps. And
I mean, greasy wheels don't make noise, so
no,
it's not. I mean, here's my take on boxing and sports in general. There's so much money to be lost in boxing and won that, like with Mayweather fights, there's more money to be lost if he loses than there is to be won if he wins. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it does.
Like, there's only certain people that are going to get rich if he wins, and those are the ones that could afford to drop $50 million on him. The rest of us will make a couple grand or something, maybe some fun money, but everybody that stands to lose money if he loses, the number's astronomical.
My whole thing is, if Deontay Wilder defeats Tyson Fury and gives Tyson Fury his first loss, I want to see how Tyson, the Gypsy King, reacts. Is he going to talk about his robe being too heavy? Is he going to talk about his gloves being exposed? Sometimes you don't know how to handle that loss. Deontay Wilder recently came out in the media, and he was talking to the media. He was fine. He was out there dancing, made a video. He's not saying anything. It has not come out of his mouth there was something wrong with the gloves.
Well, of course not.
No. But why are they doing that when they're already scheduled? The fight's going to take place. You don't got to hype it up. It's not like, okay, you're jumping ship and you're fighting somebody else. My next fight is against Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, my next fight is against Deontay Wilder. They're going to settle it and fight. Quit making allegations about the hands and the gloves, etc.
It just depends on two scenarios there. One, he knows nothing of it. It's just his camp or whoever's account that is or whatever.
Right.
Just making silly allegations to try to cause PR, stir something, whatever. Two, if I wanted to bitch and moan about, his gloves and this and that, and just have fantasy excuses, I'm not going to say it publicly. I'm going to go to you or my buddy, and I'm going to have them post the allegations on their page, because that way it goes, plausible deniability. I didn't know shit, bro.
See, Deontay Wilder didn't make any statement. Tyson Fury said, you know what, if you're going to complain about that, next time I'm going to put a dent in your career.
Something about the dent in his head or something.
Yeah, something to that effect,
And with the dent in his head, I'd be like, dude, you got a soft head and I punch hard, grow up. It's a big boy sport. It's like, come on. Plus, do you know how hard it would be to manipulate the padding on the interior of the glove that far in to even get it to hold? I
believe it's horsehair, that mane that's in there.
But I mean, you'd have to cut the glove open to do it.
There was nothing tampered with. They have the gloves afterwards.
Yeah, it's silly. It's just as silly. It's like, it's straw picking, which is, like I said, I want to know whose account it really is, if it's not just some troll ghost account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I saw Dante complain about the suit and this and that, but at the end of the day, it's like, whatever.
You tried on that suit, man. It was made for you. It was tailor made for you.
Now, granted, if you tried it on and didn't, me personally, I would have tried on a suit that's made for a walkout. I'd walk around in it for about 30, 45 minutes. I'd walk around in it for a while. I'd sit down. I would just do some shit.
Yeah.
Sit down, go eat, walk around, just do goofy shit.
I mean, people are going to think of stuff. I mean, Tommy the Hitman Hearns, he went to a war with Marvin Hagler. The story goes, Emmanuel Stewart left the dressing room, which I find that very hard to believe. And when he got back, they were massaging Tommy Hearns' leg. And Emmanuel Stewart, late great Emmanuel Stewart, by the way, said no, and just got flabbergasted and said, no, don't do that. And that relaxed his legs, and apparently he didn't have any legs into that fight. Well, I think that has something to do with Marvin Hagler's right hand to that chin. And I love Tommy Hearns, but, a fight's a fight. So people do think of different excuses or a way to accept a loss or man, it just wasn't my day.
Yeah, and I've always been for the opt-out. Like, even if you don't have an answer for why you got your ass, you'd be like, it wasn't my day, man.
It wasn't my day, man.
Even if it wasn't his day, it just wasn't my day.
Okay, let me ask you this. Then why in the hell aren't we broadcasting right now for ESPN in Fresno? Because there's nobody doing what we're doing in this Fresno area. And if we were there, I mean, we'd go through the roof with that. Now, am I going to sit there and make excuses? No, we're going to sit here and rock our brand. But I'm just keeping it real right now.
It would, if I had to talk to anybody that was in ESPN, it wouldn't even really be in the approach of like, why aren't you? It would be in question of, well, what do you have in place right now that you feel is bringing in you viewers on a better basis, or you feel will be better content?
I like to use the word stronger.
Yeah, I would ask that. Not, why aren't you using us? It would just be like, well, what you're currently using, how do you feel that's bringing you better viewership? How do you feel that content is being provided better?
We need to get a hold of the wizard, man. Because all this other stuff is all bullshit, and we got to get a hold of the guy behind the green curtain, behind the curtain. Because these other guys aren't going to say, okay, check these guys out, because they're on the hot seat. They put us in that booth for 5 minutes, it's a wrap.
I would, I'd have to humbly agree. I think that we do have a better understanding as far as the inner workings of today's like boxing and MMA as far as
I agree with you. I agree with you.
And that's not just saying that nobody else can do it. I'm just saying that like right now we're doing it.
Yes, doing it.
So
and getting it covered, not just in Fresno, worldwide, getting it covered.
Yeah.
So we'll move on from that. Now, the UFC, man, they're moving away from Reebok. What's your whole take on this? Who are they going with? And I love Nike, but I hope they don't go with Nike for the simple fact that I don't feel like paying double and triple the price, man.
I'd have to see what the negotiations are right now. For all we know, they re-signed with Reebok. All that happened was Reebok's contract was up. I don't know if there's been any announcement.
And it could be a ploy where, hey, we're looking elsewhere. Reebok says, no, you're not here.
No. It could just be. I mean, of course they're going to look elsewhere. The second they have a contract coming up, they're going to be looking at other offers, because at that time it's Reebok's opportunity to come back and say, oh, we can match that, or we'll even do a little better. They're giving you 10%, we'll give you 11%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little things like that to keep them with them. All it was that their contract's up. Do I think the UFC should have a exclusive manufacturer of their gear? Yes, that's how businesses run.
Yeah.
Every big boy sport does it. NASCAR, football, hockey, soccer, everyone. Everybody does it. They have the official MLB exclusive clothing provider, apparel provider. So the UFC needs one. Does that mean that your fighters, for example, LeBron James could give a rat's ass who the fuck makes the Lakers jerseys. He don't give a shit.
Yep.
If Nike approaches him with a $50 million contract for 4 years, he's signing with them. Yep. He'll wear Nikes while he wears his fucking Reebok jersey.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's my career.
Yeah.
The same I could see would work well within the UFC's business model, because it'd be, look, we now have an exclusive clothing sponsor. Nobody else can sell UFC gear, but, and it'll have all the fighters' names, all their gear and stuff, but they should allow fighters to still, within the clothing brand means or the nutritional sponsors and all this stuff, they should still be able to seek out those sponsors. But then the UFC's brand is, we don't want a NASCAR style look.
Yeah.
We don't want our guys coming out with 50 fucking logos on it, because that's what they managed to get together, which it has to happen that way sometimes.
Speaking of NASCAR, I don't want to go there. I'm going to leave that one alone. We'll leave that one alone.
NASCAR's got a lot of question marks right now.
We'll leave that one alone.
I don't follow NASCAR enough to know what their stance is or why, given what NASCAR's origins were and things like that. It was moonshine runners. That's how NASCAR got started.
Yeah,
so they got started off of illegal beer running. So
yeah, exactly.
How they want to approach things and tell people what they can and can't do, what they feel things are, that's not my place to comment on at all. It's NASCAR. I don't know enough about it.
Speaking of comment, I got a call today from Junior from I Got My Own Back. Salute. He said, Richard, and I was going to throw it in there when I talked about the ESPN bit. He said, I've watched a lot of podcasts out there today, and big props to KP and the production. He said, your graphics and your setup is second to none. He said, I've watched some guys that are in the big leagues, and they're sitting down on a pool table or they're sitting down in a garage. And I'm not saying there's anything knock against that, but he gave us some props, man. And he also gave us some good advice on what to do and how to get the followers and the viewers and what have you. And when I was talking to him, he said, I'm actually on my way to locate the producer to the new Tyson movie.
Oh, okay.
Because he wants
buyout movie on or something.
Well,
right?
he wants to with Jamie Foxx. He wants to create all the gear and apparel.
That's right.
Because he made the shorts for Ivan Drago, and he makes the short. He made the shorts for Canelo and for Ryan Garcia, and actually for. He was telling me every week, every event that's been put on, brother, by Top Rank Boxing, he's had a fighter wear apparel. I got my own bag. That's been designed by I got my own bag. By talking to him today, he's not the same person. When I say that, he is more professionally. He is more. You can tell he's learned more, and you can tell you're talking to he had more of a success conversation type. Like when you talk to him, going, "Oh my gosh, he's changed everything." He's more business minded. He's more on his way. He's a call away, so to speak.
His approach is based on successful business models.
But he stopped to give us props, and he stopped to give us a pointer in how to beef up our viewers and our listeners, man. So salute.
Ever growing.
Absolutely, man. So I had to give him a big shout out.
You never turned down advice on how to grow a product?
No, man. I was almost embarrassed and almost like I was getting scolded, but I manned up and said, I'm listening, and said, hey, can you send me this and that? And, he did. Because, and sometimes you need that. You need that fire in your ass to get going. Yeah. And it was. It made my day, and I told him that's the best phone call conversation I've had in months.
The adage is you can be comfortable or you can grow. You cannot do both.
No, you can't, man. And stick with what you know.
Yeah,
and stay in your lane.
Oh, God, speaking of staying in your lane, dude, the UFC promo video was insane. It was just
the island.
Yeah, the UFC at Fight Island. Like, I think even Dana White was like, I think we went a little big on that. Like,
so who did it? George Lucas or what's going on?
That's what it looks like, but it's just no. I think it'll be fun. I think here's the thing is it's just going to be another platform they can do it on. There's no real. I mean, the concept was birthed from the C-19 going on, and how do we throw fights? Let's get an international island where rules don't apply, and then we can just fly fighters in, do our own security measures and all that stuff. I think it's what the initial concept was, the inception of the idea.
Where's the original Fight Island? Do you remember where they kind of got that off of?
Oh, dude.
Yes, sir.
Bodog did it in the Caribbeans or something.
No, man. Enter the Dragon. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
They went to Bruce Lee and went on an island. And
I thought you were talking like a real Fight Island.
Island of Dr. Monroe or what?
No,
what are you talking about,
fucking
man?
Bodog Sports.
Okay.
So Bodog started off as a poker website.
Yeah.
And he got spanked with a bunch of like money laundering and offshore account shit. So it was a poker website. People were playing poker on it. Anyway, well, he turned into the MMA game. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to start throwing fights. Because Affliction was doing it. Like, everybody who could afford to was throwing MMA fights and being the next organization.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. So, because you don't see baseball player teams doing that. Oh, the next MLB. No. Yeah. Stop it.
They know their
Canada
lane.
tried it or something with that XFL.
Yeah.
It's the next NFL. No, it's not.
Shout out to 559 Fights. You didn't hear Jeremy doing that.
No, he just said we're going to...
in his lane.
Yeah, he just said this is an amateur group. We're trying to offer a platform. I just want to try to offer a professional, controlled platform that is smooth and consistent and run well and positive experience.
Yeah.
He wanted to offer a platform for fighters to go, I'm glad I got into fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't have horror stories that a lot of us have from like 2 decades ago where it's like, fuck, dude, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get paid that night. Like, we were all standing out the promoter's door like...
Actually, I got to reach out to that dude, see how he's doing, man.
He's good. I saw him. He's been organizing for the next one. He's got one in mid or late July, and then I think Moreno is running like the 8-man tournament. But I think he's going to do it on the August card because we've talked about it before.
What's exciting is these guys are not forced, but they have the opportunity to reinvent themselves and make a way when people have said there is no way.
Yeah, no, exactly. Your evolution by survivalist, I guess is how you would say it.
Speaking of survivalists, man, I talked to LeVar Johnson today on the phone.
Oh, how's he doing?
LeVar Johnson, he's doing good, man. He's cheery, he's happy-go-lucky.
Does he have anything knuckle-wise?
No, we really didn't talk about boxing, but we talked about an opportunity, that's coming, and I'm not going to spill that, right? I'll talk to you after the show about it. But no, he was in good works, and he joked around with me. He said, "You're going to have more surgeries than me," and he's always doing his thing, man.
Keeping track. He's got
a little tally book. Keeping track. Yeah, he is.
Well, you passed me. No, that's good. Yeah. I'm actually, dude, I was so bummed when C19 broke everything down.
Yeah.
And like Valor and I was bummed out for Richard too, because he finally found a home.
Yes.
Where he was being given like creative control and some sense of control of the whole.
But it was still a good move because the other place is shut down as well, except for the gambling part.
He'd be super boned out there anyway.
And plus he was taking classes. To get his degree. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a good move all around, which is I'm confused. Like, then this is nothing against Jacob Jeff. He's my boy, but I'm just confused how card rooms are getting closed. But the casinos, I saw that nowhere near on that list. So it's like,
I don't understand that whole thing, man. I really don't. And right when I start to comment, something gets closed down, something gets opened up, and something gets overlooked. It's just that whole risk factor, man. I mean,
Remember a couple months ago when this whole thing, and I said that when the country crashes, you'll be able to look at it and wrap it up in one word, and that word is going to be entitlement. It's going to be that sense of can't tell me what to do, whether you agree or not. Like I don't like wearing one. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But I can understand its in the intent, whether or not. Because here's the thing. You've got science on both sides. People trying to claim science on both sides, saying why it doesn't work, why it does, why it's dangerous, why it's smart, why it helps, why.
And then you just got bonehead shit.
Yeah, and then you got the gray areas, dumb shit in the middle. So it's hard to just listen to this stuff and then make an educated decision on that. But here's the thing is if somebody were to come into a store and it was a mask-wearing store and they're not wearing a mask, I'd be like, "What's up, Rich? How you doing, amigo?"
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you put a mask on because here's two things on this. One, if it's not a big problem, why am I bothering him?
Yeah.
Two, if it's just being over-exaggerated and it's really not that deadly, it's not that risky or whatever, why am I bothering him? There's no risk. Two, if my mask is supposed to keep me from the main goal of the mask is to keep you from spreading it by accident.
Right.
People have this misconception that, it's supposed to keep me from getting it. No, it's to help keep you from spreading it by accident. That's the whole purpose is if you picked it up 2 days ago and don't know it yet, it's to keep you from giving it to me who doesn't have it yet. And then 4 days later, you realize you have it. I don't know I have it yet because it's to keep you from spreading. That's why people in China and Japan and stuff, they wear the masks on subways and stuff because they're sick. They're not doing it to keep from getting sick. It's because they're sick. It's a courtesy. It's to keep me from getting you sick because I have a cold. I don't want to give it to you because we're all stuck on this subway really tight. So if I don't see you wearing one, I'm not going to give you any shit for it. It's your choice.
Yeah, and it's my choice to walk the other way or not.
Exactly. And then two, if the mask is supposed to help me somewhat, why am I worried if I have one on?
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're saying wear one so I don't catch anything,
people don't stay in their lane, man. They just don't. The only time I would ever come out of my lane if I see somebody walking in the store and I'll say, "Hey, partner, you left your lights on." Other than that, do whatever the heck you want to do. Just don't, do anything to hurt me or
and that's where
or get in my personal space.
There's the gray areas. Don't do anything to hurt me. People would argue that by not wearing it, you're doing something to hurt me. And here's the thing: well, if I'm wearing mine, I've got semi-level of some protection going.
Every single big store, they do have somebody at the door, and they have signs posted, wear a mask.
Well, I was in, I won't say where, but I was in a store. It was like a mom and pop store the other day picking up pet supply stuff. Yeah. And dude started making a big old scene out of it, and it's like, bro, it's really not that big of a deal. Here's the thing is there's stores that aren't enforcing it. This is what's going to happen. You're going to have stores that don't enforce it and stores that do.
Right.
If they enforce it and that's where you want to shop, cool. If they don't and that's where you want to shop, cool, go there. Unfortunately, the stores that don't will most likely get fines on the regular. But their probably hope is that to counteract that is the people that don't want to wear them can shop there. Here's the thing. Safe, not safe, helps, doesn't help. It's not really hurting you. If you're going to wear it for 20 minutes in a store, that's what I'm saying. It's the entitlement.
When I go into a store, I'm the team player, man. Whether I want to be or not. I really don't like wearing it. I don't. They're hard to breathe. But my doctor's appointments and my checkups and what have you, I put the mask on. The other day, I wanted to go look at a certain clothing store. I didn't have a mask. and I forgot it, so I couldn't get in.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, for example, I don't like wearing them, but I just do it because 95% of the stores I go to, whenever
Bro, you don't even like wearing condoms, so it doesn't really matter if you like wearing a mask or condoms or anything, man. I just had to go there, man. It was right there.
I do have a child.
Hey,
so,
you do. Speaking of that, did you make contact with Mr. Rico from Red Wave?
I did, actually.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I did. He said I got to get my son to decide. And that's the beauty of it, is my son's now coming down to that crunch time feeling of, well, I have to make a decision on that. Like, I have to actually decide which one I want to get. And I can see him twisting on it in the hand. Because he came to this dilemma on some video game question last week where he spent the whole time on the kayaks on the lake debating this question, just being quiet. I'm like, what's wrong, bro? And he's like, no, I'm just thinking about that stuff. It was like a video game decision where you had to stick to the decision. It was going to affect the outcome of the game. He's like, I don't know which way to go. And I'm like, bro, imagine that times 10. Or 100, because it's permanent, bro. It's going on your body. Yeah. He just wants to get some off the wall shit. But I'm like, look, whatever you want to get, you want 18, you want to get a tattoo, that's your choice. Let me try to find you a place that I know.
I'm your pops. At least let me pay for that thing. Let me go down there with you.
Let me figure it out. Let me get you a good place.
At least let me be there for the first one.
I just want to see him cry when he feels the first needles going in. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa,
like
whoa,
sandpaper, yeah.
And that's what I told him too. I go, hey, dude, once you agree to do this and I pay for it, that dude's getting paid whether you take the ink or not. I go, because he slotted that time. He set aside time to make money. I go, he's making money no matter what.
No, Rico does it. He's in good hands with Rico, man. Great job professionally. I highly recommend him. And that's why you're talking about him.
Yeah, it was super easy to get a hold of him. It's just now it's on my son. Rico did as much as he could do as far as, it'll take some time to get an appointment for you, but I'd love to, get you a good price, help you out, get your son his first tattoo. So he's down for the project. He understands it's the first tattoo and stuff like that. So I'm like, to keep it simple, he's like, just give me a size.
Yeah, and he'll tell you some stories, man.
Yeah, no, I imagine, dude, I imagine how many people have just fucking passed out in front of tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
Just vapor locked and just passed out.
The best advice was given to me by an old friend. He said, make sure you breathe. And during that time, I was like, and I go, okay, I got to make sure I breathe.
You do, because when, the first thing for people in pain is to hold your breath a minute. It's like, dude, that's why when you're weightlifting, they tell you breathe. You got to let the oxygen flow through your veins, because that's what feeds your muscles. Your lungs require oxygen. Your veins require oxygen. You're going to pass the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, that can happen.
You stand the wrong way with your knees locked. You could be breathing, you'll pass out because you locked your knees out and you pass out. So,
my knee's doing better, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw it all rehabbed up and stuff like that.
We're getting there.
How many stitches you end up with?
I don't even know. I didn't even want to count. I really started looking at it just a little while ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's getting better. It's starting to not be such a sore eye.
When you move it, does it still...
I can feel the pain, but I can also feel the strength that it's not weak anymore.
Yeah, have you been able to stand on just it yet?
No, I haven't went there yet. But when I go back tomorrow, I get to get on the bicycle, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay.
Because I'm really pushing myself, and this guy's pushing me too.
Trust the therapist when they tell you, okay, we're going to try one leg stuff to support the weight. Trust them. Like, even if it feels, it's going to feel scary because you're trusting all in. Weight.
No safety net. I'm all in, man. I'm putting it all on there.
Dude, safety nets. Dude, did you ever watch that dude do that free solo shit?
No, I didn't. What happened?
He lived. But have you ever heard of those guys that do that? El Capitan? They're called free climbers.
Oh, yeah, those guys? Yeah, forget all that. Oh, yes. No, forget that stuff, bro.
Insane.
And then they set up camp there and like sleeping on the edge, like those goats that just climb up there?
Right.
To the side?
Yeah.
No,
those people usually have like ropes and stuff. This guy was just...
Chalk.
He free climbed Half Dome, no rope.
No,
and then he was like,
what is the point? To say I didn't use a rope? Is that a sense of accomplishment or foolishness?
It's saying that you're such of a...
You have to be crazy to do that, right?
You have to, you do have to be crazy.
And you have to be, is it true to say you got to be crazy or daring to be a fighter?
I would say you have to be even crazier to do that, because if you, like I said, you fuck up in my job, you get beat up.
Yeah.
You get tapped out.
Yeah.
You get choked out.
Yeah.
You fuck up, that's it.
That's all she wrote.
You get one mess up.
Yeah.
Because he was saying that after a certain height, like after like 50 meters, anything higher than that, you just explode on impact. He said, so there's
pressure.
a point. Yeah, there's a point that he almost says that like there's almost a relief almost, because he's like, okay, I'm past that zone now. Now it's just it's in my hands or not, because no matter what now, I'm dying if I fuck up. There's a spot where if you you could survive, maybe. You fuck your back up, be paralyzed, break your legs, shove them through your hips, something.
You can't even get on your cell and say, pick me up over here.
No, yeah. Because he went up and got to a point, because he starts at night. Because he has to start at night before the sun comes up, because the rock gets too hot. and the glare and everything. So he has to start at night and get to a certain. He's like, I got to get to a certain point before the sun comes up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm kind of fucked. And he got up to a certain point, and it was kind of dark, and he like slipped a little.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Nah, that's it. We're done. Call it."
No, man, I wouldn't even get on that
Didn't
road.
feel right. So, I would say that to be fearless to do that is a different level of. You just have to be kind of. I wouldn't say crazy. You just. Have
It's
to be
not
wired
ignorant.
different.
You're just crazy. Ignorance because you don't know any better, but you're just crazy.
It's not that he's. I don't want to say ignorant or crazy. You just you have a.
He's out there, man.
You have a different level of acceptance of what death, how it affects the concept affects other people.
I guess so, man.
Like
I mean, I'd stress just watching the dude. I don't want to watch him.
I watched it on Disney Plus. I watched
Okay.
it. It's insane.
I'm cool with that.
First off, dude had a girlfriend that he should have dumped her ass.
Oh man, one of
He
those
should have
nags.
dumped her. No, she was helping him do some climbing, and she let go of the belay and fucked up because she wasn't paying attention, and like it fucked his ankle up.
No, first and last time.
Like the day before he was supposed to do it, like the night before, she's been cool for like a month and a half. She's been like, I don't like it, but whatever, I understand it. Then all of a sudden, the night before, she's like, I don't want you to do this. And he
Oh hell no! Get out of my no.
What the fuck?
Get out of my bubble. Get out of my area. Change your attitude.
Dude, out of his life. I
Yeah.
was like, but I mean, he let her stay. Whatever. I don't know why he let her stay, but anyway, so shit like that. So you got to be not just crazy, but you just have to be a little more accepting of like, you get these fighters that are like, oh, I'm willing to die in there. I don't think you really are, because the reality of it is this: the chances of you dying in there are pretty slim.
Yeah.
So it's easy to go, I'm willing to die in there. Well, dude, chances of you dying there are pretty fucking slim. Now, you get a soldier that's like, we're about to take that fucking building. I got a 9/11 pistol. I'm going to go take that building.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to die. I'm willing to die. Chances are you're going to fucking die,
you are.
brother.
As soon
Good
as
luck.
you pull that cuete
High
out,
five.
boom.
Good luck. Get some.
Yeah.
You got a bag. You got a backup mag. That's it.
Yeah.
That guy.
Can I have your beer in that ice chest?
Yeah, that guy I can believe he's not afraid to die, because he's going into a scenario where he
knows he's not coming back.
The percentages of surviving that.
And if he
incident,
does come back, he's pissed off. Why am I here?
Yeah. So when you get those guys now, those guys that are climbing that free solo shit, they can go, it's not that I'm not afraid to die. I realize the fact that if I do fuck up, I am 95% of the chance probably going to die.
Or wish you were dead.
Nah, probably going to die. Like I said, after 50 meters, you build up so much velocity. Anything after 50 meters, no matter what you weigh, you're building up enough velocity that you just explode on impact. That's it. There's a point of no return. So I think they just accept it differently in the mind.
What's it called, man? Mine climb or what?
Free solo.
Free solo.
Free solo.
I'm going to have to look that up.
He did Half Dome, El Capitan. Now, El Capitan is the biggest, the tallest free solo in the world. He holds up his record or something. But then the whole video, they were talking about dudes that were messing up and they were dying. There was like a handful of guys that, like, at the end of the movie, over the time he'd spent, they were documenting this guy.
Yeah.
He had known guys that, like, I think 2 died while they were doing the documentary, and like 2 others had died earlier in his life that he knew about. And it's just weird stuff. Like, I've seen base jump guys do that. So when I hear those guys kind of talk about, I'd rather listen to a free climber talk about death and life, honestly, than talk to a fighter.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll tell you what, what's going through his mindset preparing when he's in there and when he comes out, and what he left in the cage or the ring.
Well, like Donald Cerrone, for example.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to Donald Cerrone about life and death with regards to fighting. I'm going to ask him what life and death about regards like things like cave diving.
Yeah.
Like the story where he almost died. It's like, bro, like, what's that like? Like, you've literally, you've had to go through the motions in your brain of accepting dying. Like, everyone kind of goes, oh, we're all going to die one day. But no, like, this is it. Like, you're probably going to suffocate.
You have to respect what you're doing, and you know who kind of going through that kind of phase, and that's a professional former WBA super lightweight champion Regis Prograis. This dude's freaking wrestling alligators, swimming with freaking great white sharks, diving off cliffs, hang gliding.
It's a JC Lamas of boxing.
Exactly. Yeah. Just some crazy shit. And he goes, yeah, bro, I just like the rush, man. That shark kind of passed by and I touched its fin. It was cool. And I'm
we need to put him
like,
in touch
are you
with
serious
JC
right now, man? I mean, are you freaking serious? Because, bro, I just live life on the edge. I enjoy life. I love life.
I could see it now, dude. JC and Regis.
Oh, yeah.
Regis and Lamas. Oh, dude, Regis and Lamas, dude. It'll be a show of just following these two fuckers around in between fights. What are they doing? They're going alligator wrestling on Thursday night. Friday, JC's got a DJ spot.
We got to introduce them to these guys, man. I'll introduce them to each other,
The fact that they're doing this kind of stuff on their own, Bro, to find somebody that you're crazy enough to go do like shit in the Bahamas with and stuff. What we're going to do, we're going to go skydiving out of a tree or something crazy.
He does some crazy things, man.
Well, it's not that they do crazy things. They're just doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to be involved in as many different things.
He's doing things that your normal boxer would not do.
No. The risk factor towards your career, yeah.
Big time. I mean, he can't even get insurance. So like, hell no, dude.
Yeah,
no. You're cashing in right now, dude.
Well, dude, for a while, I couldn't even tell my insurance company that I fought.
That's not good.
I wouldn't, because what I found out was I hit up a couple insurance companies and they're like, how do you guys rate that? And they're like, we put you in the same category as NASCAR drivers. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, because they're like, the chances of you getting hurt are pretty slim, but when you do, you're probably going to get really hurt. Same thing with NASCAR drivers. Yeah. The chances of you wrecking aren't that high, but when you do, you usually fucking flip and shit and hit a wall or something.
Yeah.
So
Evil Knievel, you're going to break some shit.
Exactly. So the insurance level's high, so they charge you a high premium.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, oh, and they're like, why do you fight? I'm like, no, my brother does. I was just curious. Yeah. So anyway, what were you saying? 125 of every 6 months? We got to sign that real quick.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that.
Yeah, I got a policy set in place, man.
You have to.
Yeah, I do.
Unfortunately,
you're worth more dead.
I have a life insurance policy, I think.
Doesn't that suck? You're worth more dead than alive? Well, anyways, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that.
It's
somebody. Okay, you know what I do want to talk about? He made it known. He was public with it. He posted it, and now he's at home and he's doing much better. And he's going to be back at his practice, and that's Dr. Batista, who tested positive for the coronavirus. He went through a little roller coaster, but he was documenting the whole time that he was under this condition and educating us as he was taking the medicine. I mean, hats off to him, and he's at a better place now because now he's home now. He's no longer in the hospital, and I'm hearing he's going to be going back to his practice soon. So, Dr. Batista, man, wish you well. You're doing really well. And also, the living legend, Roberto Duran, was diagnosed with the coronavirus, was hospitalized for a couple of days. He's still in the hospital, but he's doing much, much better, man. They got control of it. They caught it early, and, they treated it.
That's what I hear is one of the factors for it is just getting it, recognizing it early on kind of thing and just going in and getting deal with it. It's like I said, there's science on both sides. Like,
there is.
I hear people that are like, well, if you're prone to catching the flu, if you're prone to getting sick, you're at higher risk. If you're not,
I just thank God, man. I thank God where I'm at today, and could be worse, So I appreciate the life that I have in front of me. That I will say, because of a lot of things that are happening. Am I in doubt? Is this the new norm? No, I don't claim that. I think it's a little wave, and we just need to get through it.
I think it'll definitely have some prolonged effects, some permanent effects. Like, I don't think
awareness.
I think you'll see people. Okay, take this for example.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit my own cable. Take this for example. Let's say I listen to the doctors that say wear a mask. It is dangerous if you do catch it. It is a low mortality rate, but it is something that if you catch it, it's case by case. You might be fine with it. It might do whatever. I wear a mask. I do my part or whatever you call it. I protect myself. And I worry about. Like I said, I wear one just for the fact that if I had it, I don't want to give it to you.
Sure, appreciate it.
If I was at a shopping store, I just don't want to. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So, but let's say I wear it. Now, let's say everything goes back to normal.
Yeah.
Now, last I checked, you couldn't walk into a bank with a face covering.
No.
You couldn't go into a store with a face covering. So now what happens when everything goes back to normal and they're like, well, you no longer require a mask. Oh, I understand. I'm going to wear one, though.
But it's my right now.
Well, you can't come into a bank with a mask on. Fuck you, I can, because you're now going to have me standing in line next to somebody not wearing it.
Yeah.
I caught C-19 and it almost killed me. I'm not going through that again. My immune system apparently is weak. I know I'm at risk. I'm going to wear a mask to help myself out. I can't bank here anymore? Okay, cool, close my account. The bank will say, well, hold on.
Yeah.
Now, like all these people who say, I don't want to wear a mask and I'm going to get a doctor's note and whatever, get your doctor's note. The store's still going to tell you, you can't shop here. No lawyer is going to take that case. First off, no lawyer that wants to win a case is going to take it, because it's still the store's right to say,
There's going to invent some new laws and some new scenarios. And speaking of that, man, I talked to Miles Harris today. It's always good to know that you got a good attorney on your side. Man. It really is, man. And you know what? He was happy-go-lucky. He said, yeah, my daughter, she's taking swimming lessons and she's doing gymnastics.
It's that time of year, man.
And then he said, hey, man, when she gets that soccer ball ready, I need your daughter to give her some instruction. I said, it's done, and she'll learn from the best, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But could you imagine that, wanting to wear a mask all the time now and being told you can't You can't shop now? You can't come into the bank?
Yeah,
Why?
it's like head covering or it's like clothing. It's going to become a part of you.
There's
Because
so many laws that are gonna
mentally
change.
people are going to be so freaking just paranoid by it. They're going to want to wear it constantly. Period.
I see people all the time making fun of like China and Japan. It's like you see all these people on the subways and stuff. I go, dude, they're wearing it so they don't get someone next to them.
Yeah,
sick.
exactly.
That's it. They're not doing it to keep from getting sick. It's
I wish
they
we
don't
had
wanna
some
get
more
someone sick.
considerate people, man, because back in the day, you'd have people just showing up to work sick
I can understand, like,
and getting everybody sick.
in the digital age, I don't know. I want to support people. I want to empathize. I don't want to support things. I want to empathize, though, with people who say, oh, I can't wear one. It's hard for me to. Cool, I understand that. That sucks. There's online shopping. Walmart will literally come out to your car and put the groceries in your trunk for you. They will deliver it to your house. I mean, there's all these other options where it's like, oh, how am I supposed to get my this, my that? There's options.
There's options there, man.
Like-
you take them.
But to say that, oh, like I see people putting photos of like employees on Facebook and social media and stuff going, oh, this guy. It's like, that guy nothing, you asshole. That's a store policy.
People like putting people on blast, and then when it comes to their turn, I mean, they get all butthurt and hurt in the ass.
Well, I mean, okay, I can understand that if you have a weak immune system and you want to go into a store.
I get that, man.
But it's like at the same time, the mask that you're saying is supposed to protect you as well, just wear one.
People have too much time on their hands, man, and they love to post and they love to degrade and they love to pull people down, man. Enough about that negative stuff, man. Talking about that, man, because as soon as I got out of surgery, I asked for another nurse because that nurse, no, I did, because she didn't have the right attitude. Oh, did you know from now on you're going to have to be? I go, no, I don't. Did you know that? I said, no, that's not what. I said, you know what? You need to. You know what? I need another nurse because I need you to change your attitude because I want everything positive around me. I walked into this and said, I want it done. I didn't have to have it done. I wanted it done, and boom. I want positive people around me in my circle. I don't want one. Oh, did you know that from now on, and you can't get next to a toaster and all? Like, what are you talking about, man? I mean, I don't want to hear all that garbage, man. Speaking of. Birthdays, because I heard you say happy birthday when we walked in here. We celebrated a birthday last night. Mike Tyson's birthday, man. 54 years old. Still putting them punches and bunches together with speed and harmony, man.
I've heard he's edging closer.
Very close.
Like, I hear whispers, I hear rumors.
Very close. And see, he takes pride in himself, so he's not going to go into the ring looking like a daisy. That's why he's in tip-top shape.
And he ain't taking a no-payday fight either. Like, whoever, and that's the funny thing is, it's not who does Mike Tyson
Sure
get to
in the hell
fight.
ain't going to be WWE, though. That was not him.
No, this will be a legit fight.
Yeah.
I would say a legit fight, and the beauty of it is it's not going to be who does Mike Tyson gets to fight. It's going to be who gets to fight Mike Tyson.
Yeah, exactly.
So in order to get that fight, you better have a large entertainment value in which to bring to it to make it a pay-per-view level thing. I mean, realistically, Tyson fights just about anybody right now.
Yeah.
People will watch it, but like to have a fight that actually makes sense would be even more appealing because people would want to actually watch.
They just want to see him, man. They just want to,
I just want to watch him fuck someone up.
The rebirth. I do want to see him hit somebody. I want to see how he reacts, and when he knocks somebody on their ass.
Yeah, I mean, he just looks so smooth. He's just one of those guys that makes boxing look like riding a bike. Like it's just smooth. Is he in shape enough to do what's needed?
He is going to do what's needed. Speaking of smooth and speaking of swimming with sharks, next Wednesday. Coming in as a post-fight interview is going to be Andy Altiberon Vincent, who's fighting next Tuesday for Top Rank Boxing. So if everything goes well, we're going to get the post-fight interview right after the fight.
It's a title fight, right?
No. I would say it's like an eliminator.
I was going to say it was like main, one of those things.
Yes, exactly. It puts him right back on the map, and his name has been mentioned for a title shot. So we got to see what happens.
Illuminate that door.
Yeah, I got to say this, man, and I did promise this guy I wouldn't say anything, but I just got to say it anyways. I'm not going to say exactly everything, so he's probably tripping out right now. I got a call today. I talked to my man, Gabriel Flores Sr. Man, he got some good news getting ready to drop. And he said, Richard, don't you dare say a damn thing.
Oh, no,
and you know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say a damn thing, but I just want everybody to know that I know.
Nice. Good. So, that's good.
So when it pops off in a couple of weeks, I know.
You know now.
I know
Mark
now.
Mark it down. July 1st.
I know now.
When Garcia...
He's probably going, Richard, okay, no hat, no jumpsuit, no nothing, none of that stuff. Shut the hell up, whatever. No, I just had to get it out of my system.
We're going to have to give him like a good 5-minute window and just be like, okay, just...
No, but he did say little Gabriel will be coming onto the show soon. So
cool.
He's in Stockton right now, and Senior, he's out there making them deals in Las Vegas, getting it done.
Yeah, like I said, he's taking his son's not just his son. He's taking his son's career potential in multiple directions right now, which is necessarily. You don't want to go down too many avenues because then you get spread too thin. But the thing is dad's the one handling the avenue travels. The son just needs to show up for gym. Yeah. That's it. Show up, be ready to fight, man. That's it. Be ready to kick ass and take names. Dad's handling the rest of the avenue searching, like, let me go down this road and see which direction we can take him. Let me go down this one. His son, there might be 4 avenues his dad's taking him down that the junior's not even aware of. Because all junior's job is have fun, show up to the gym.
You know, like when you follow the yellow brick road? This is a great road. It's a great step. That's all I'll say, and I'm just going to leave that alone. Evan Korn from Top Rank Boxing, my man, I emailed you, I text you, I send you a demo reel. Take a look at it, man. I don't care if you're sitting on the can, using your hand. I don't care what you're doing. Press play, appreciate, and just give me a call. Give me that opportunity, man. If your man feels ill or he can't make it, didn't pass the coronavirus test or whatever, but you're in good hands right now, man, just give a brother a call, an opportunity, man. Call me, Balboa. Call me.
I'm gonna have T-shirts made.
You are?
Yeah, it's gonna be a donkey. Yeah. With a microphone next to it.
I like that.
I like that.
Right?
It's just jackass with a microphone.
There you go. Oh, yeah, that's right. When you said that. Yeah, jackass with a microphone.
When I give my opinion,
sometimes you got to be a jackass with a microphone because you need to be heard. You got to create that opportunity. You don't bully your way, but you create that opportunity. Do what it takes to get that opportunity. Then you become that 8 Mile. You get one opportunity, so you better cash in. Be careful what you ask for.
But it sounds like a fun idea for a T-shirt.
It is. That's a great idea.
Like just a donkey. Like it's like I don't know. I'm trying to picture the color.
Jackass with a microphone. I like that.
Jackass with a microphone, man. That's all I am.
We got to make that. We got to make that one of our segments. Okay, this is time for this jackass with a microphone.
Very opinionated.
We got 5 minutes of just talking shit.
Yeah, that we could do. Yeah,
and there we are. Okay, that's our cue. That's our cue. So do you got anything for the followers, the fans, and the viewers, my man?
Just be ready, guys. Saturday, July 11th, I think is going to be the next UFC 251. We're going to see Jan versus Aldo. Yep. We're going to get to see that fight. We're going to see Usman versus Burns, I believe is that fight. And there was another one. I wanted to try to memorize it without actually having to look at it, just because I feel bad when I gotta actually look and not memorize it.
Oh, because you're human?
I know I'm human. It's Holloway and Volkanovski. There's some fights. Holloway's right back on the path trying to get a fight. So outside of that, there's not much. Like I said, Fight Island's coming. Get ready. That's gonna be the first Fight Island card. I'm just curious. Me personally, it was a fun idea at first. Now I think it's just gonna end up being another venue where some dude can't get a visa for the country. We'll have the fight at Fight Island. Something's gonna happen. Yeah, because it was birthed out of C19.
Something premeditated is gonna happen, and he's gonna say, "See, I told you it's useful." Yeah. Hey, Rich Ortiz, your host of The Fighter's Voice. Next time when I come on here, we're gonna be talking about some youth out there. We're gonna be giving away a mouthpiece, some starter gloves, and some headgear, a starter kit to those young athletes out there, those young youth out there. We're going to be giving out some boxing equipment, and then I'll give you more details next Tuesday and next Wednesday. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. It's a wrap in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Okay, fight fans, it's not goodbye, but until next week.
Remember.
It's always voiceography at its finest. So on behalf of Richard Ortiz.
I'm Bob Arum, and I'm with The Fighter's Voice. My name is Andre Ward.
Knocking out the competition.
Fighter's Voice!
The Fighter's Voice.